In the Gospel of John, the 10th chapter, verses 26 through 27, Jesus is responding to the Jews' question if he is the Messiah. He responds by saying, "I did tell you, but you do not believe. The miracles I do in my Father's name speak for me. But you do not believe because you are not my sheep. My sheep listens to my voice. I know them, and they follow me." It's interesting that in our time of need and when things are not going the way we think they should go, we call on God. We ask Jesus to help us. But then when the voice of God comes to us, we have a tendency not to believe it is him. John's gospel says that's because we are not his sheep. And if we were his sheep, we would believe and follow him. That reminds me of the story about the lost hiker who found himself at the edge of a cliff in the dead of night. Hoping that he would be rescued, he pondered whether he should stay on the top of the mountain, but the weather was changing and he was afraid he would freeze during the night. He had a rope, so he tied it to a tree and threw it over the side of the cliff and began climbing down. Unfortunately, it was so dark he could not see the bottom, but he had enough faith to just go down the rope and hope that it would reach the bottom. When he reached the end of his rope, he still could not see the bottom, and he didn't know how far it would be to the drop. So he began to pray and call on the Lord. While hanging on the rope, he heard a voice that said, "This is God. Let go the rope. I will save you." To his amazement, he questioned whether it really was God. Again, the voice said, "This is God. Let go of the rope. I will save you." The hiker refused to take a chance to let go the rope, so he held on for dear life throughout the night in hopes that he would be rescued. The next morning, the rescuers were amazed at the sight when they found the lost hiker. There he was, frozen to death, clinging to a rope that was only 2 feet from the ground. Have you ever reached the end of your rope? Have you ever found yourself in such a dismal situation that you didn't know which way to turn? Sometimes we refuse to let go of our security blankets when God speaks to us. Jesus says, "My sheep listens to my voice. I know them, and they follow me." Psalms 100, verse 3 reminds us to know that the Lord is God. It is he who has made us, and we are his. We are his people, the sheep of his pasture. You are his sheep. So if you find yourself at the end of your rope, remember to listen for that voice that will lead you. Listen for that voice that will comfort you. Listen for that voice that will support you in overcoming life's difficulties. May God continue to bless you and allow you to continue to walk in his light.
In His Light is an inspirational message from Pastor Tom J. Culley that reassures the grace, love, and compassion of Jesus Christ and the impact it has on your life. It is sponsored by the Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, 1087 Grove Avenue, Edison, New Jersey. You are invited to join us each Sunday at 11 o'clock a.m.